Hi, my name is Nandini Parthasarathi, and today we are going to learn how to play the E major scale on the piano. So first, we're going to start by going over the major scale formula because that is exceedingly helpful when it comes to figuring out what notes go in whatever major scale. Then we're going to go over the specific notes of the E major scale, and then I'm going to show you the piano staff to see the notes on for the E major scale and recognize the flats and the sharps associated with the major. Then I'm going to show you how to play it on the piano at different speeds so you can take your time and go as slow as you want or as fast as you want. And then I'm going to show you where the do and the so would be if you were going to sing using an E major scale. So this is the major scale formula. It is exceptionally helpful in finding out the next note in a major scale. So the formula is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And that should get you back to the note you started on. So here is the E major scale. So the E major scale has 4 sharps, and the treble clef has how many sharps next to it? 4 sharps. And what are the sharps? F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and D sharp. So now to go over the scale, using the major scale formula, you have whole step first. Whole step from E is F sharp. E to F would just be a half step. Then you have another whole step. That gives you G sharp. Then you have a half step, which gives you A. Then you have a whole step, A to B. Whole step from B is C sharp. Whole step from C sharp, D sharp. Half step is, you guessed it, E. Learning the E major scale would also be a great opportunity to learn how to read sheet music. And as you can see with the notes underneath the staff, you can tell which is which, and you can also practice this skill while learning the E major scale. And again, just wanted to touch on the difference between whole steps and half steps. When you go from E to F, it is a half step. So that first whole step's a little tricky. And that's one of the main reasons that people get tripped up by the E major scale, is that the E to F doesn't really register as a half step, since we usually correspond going from one letter to another. The E major scale is perhaps the most difficult major scale to play, just because the jumps seem to trick a few people out, and there are quite a few sharps. There are 4 sharps to keep track of. So in the last part, we went over the sharps and the notes of the E major scale. So now I'm going to show you how to play them. So again, to start, you have to find the E, because it's E major scale. So this is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, just to quickly go over the notes in case you are starting from scratch, which is okay. So we are going to start at E for the E major scale. So we're going to go E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. So that is the E major scale played out quite slowly, and that, if that's the speed you want, that's okay. But we can also start to speed it up. Not that bad once you get the hang of it, right? So you start on E and on E, right? So let's go maybe a tad faster. Hey, you made it to the end of the video, which means it's recap time. So today we focused on the E major scale, and we started by going over the major scale formula, which is really helpful if you need to form any major scale. So the major scale formula is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, in which you start on the note of the scale you're trying to make. Like E major scale, you start on E. Then we went over the notes of the E major scale, as indicated by the image on the right. We went over how you take the whole steps, how you take the half steps, and we also went over the treble clef, the
sharps next to the treble clefs more specifically, and how you can use those sharps to figure out what major scale you're in, which can be exceedingly helpful if you need to sight read and you need to know what major you're in. Then we went over how to play the major scale on the piano by going at various speeds so you can pick your fancy. And then we went over the solfege in case you need to sing the solfege of something in E major scale. And now it is practice time, which means that you can go back to the portion where we played over the E major scale at varying speeds. Pick the speed that suits you best, and you can play along with me. Or if you don't want to play along and you think you got it on your own, you can practice using the image given on the right and take it for a spin. You can also practice by singing using solfege of a piece of something in the E major scale, and that's the piece to practice, just playing the E major scale. And that's it. Bye.